What up? It's your boy Ren. And look, Elon Musk is having issues with his obsessive fan base. And you see, me personally, I could care less about Elon Musk. Honestly, I lean more towards the crowd of people that think he's a dumbass. Now, I personally don't think he's a dumbass. I mean, you have to be some kind of smart, at least just a little bit, to be as rich as he is. Now, I'm not going to hate too much. I mean, I am going to hate on him this video, honestly. But I'm not going to say he's a dumbass. I think that he has some talent, but I'm not going to give him credit as being the innovative mind that a lot of his fans think he is, when he's not. He is just the world's best venture capitalist. And that's all you can really put to it. He's never created anything, right? He just buys stuff. He didn't create PayPal. He didn't create Tesla. He didn't create SpaceX. He bought these companies, or at least became the biggest venture capitalist and had the founders of these companies sign paperwork that say he's the CEO. But I digress. New issue with Elon is well, I'll just let this video explain it.
People are mad at Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk for saying American culture is mediocre.
What did he say?
He said foreign culture is superior to American culture, and that's why Americans can't get jobs. Blamed Americans for watching TV and valuing the jock over the immigrants work
How are
hard.
people responding to that?
Many people have figured out that they're paying these immigrants lower wages. This allows them to pay their own citizens no wage because they don't have to hire them now. People are discussing the superior tech talent from India.
Wait, so they were saying that immigrants from Mexico are criminals and are going to hurt people, but immigrants from India are technical geniuses
Those two
that
are
are superior?
different! You got they been or started that anti-immigrant campaign all the while hiring them for cheaper labor. Making people turn on each other.
I just don't get the immigrant discrimination. At first, immigrants were bad, but now they're good and they're needed. What's happening
Vivek
here?
was talking about how immigrants are superior in tech to Americans. And Elon Musk agreed with him and said it has nothing to do with lower wages.
That sounds like an excuse for big businesses to continue to outsource for cheaper labor because it is proven they pay immigrants significantly less than they would pay someone from the same country.
That's because they're humble, so they're willing to take the cheaper labor. Americans are too entitled!
That doesn't make sense!
So Americans aren't entitled? How does that not make any sense?
Outsourcing something like customer service to India doesn't mean
What?
the customer service in India is better. It means they're going to pay significantly less
What?
for their wages, so the business is going to make more money.
Laura Loomer has also turned on Elon Musk. Called him an immigrant who bought his way into Trump's campaign. Why does anyone have a problem with what they're saying?
Because it all seems to come back to this elaborate scheme to make billionaires richer under
You're
the
always
guise
under the
of
guise.
this righteous...
Are you saying that the fact that there's no American jobs, and even though there's a shortage, people are still getting fired? They tell us to have kids for the jobs they won't offer anyone. While they've been outsourcing these jobs to H-1Bs and immigrants. They can pay them less while demonizing immigrants the whole time. Are you saying these billionaires are lying to their followers? And that when they use the term as just business, it's because they're hiding from something ethically? I found that conspiracy theorist.
It doesn't have to be like this.
It's too late.
That's essentially what it is. Elon Musk
People are mad at Vivek.
He came out and said, look, I'm all for HB1 visas. And I'm not hiring Americans because Americans just take too much time. Like this plea right here. Investing in Americans is actually hard. Really hard. It costs money, time, and effort to make a person productive in a short-term. It's a short-term net loss. It's much easier to bring in skilled workers who might not quite do a good job, but work for a fraction of the cost and be happy just to be here. And this is essentially after a year of Elon Musk saying that illegal immigrants are the worst people out there while being an immigrant himself. Now he's advocating for people to come over to this country to work on HB1 visas. Now personally, I understand it. From a capitalist mind point, I understand it. Hiring people to do cheaper labor for you is always better. If you hire someone from America, you have to pay them American prices, which is why we outsource a lot of our production overseas. Like in China, the stuff that, like this shirt was most likely made in China. The one that I'm wearing right now was most likely made in China because it's just cheaper due to their lesser labor laws. And when you bring an immigrant from a country like India, who just paying them the equivalent for us $700 a week here is a lot of money to them back in India, right? So for them to outsource their labor or bring these people over to give them jobs that if an American took $150,000 a year, would be $70,000 a year to this immigrant, and they don't really have choices too, since they're on a visa. If they get fired or lose their job at this company, then they have to go back home. And this is a country with a lot more benefits in a better environment than what India would provide. So of course, there are people who are gonna like exploit that. Billionaires, companies are gonna exploit that. Now, for Elon to be advocating for this so hard after being so anti-immigrant, despite being one himself for the last however long, is why people are mad at him on his own platform. Because you can't just take a stance on something that you've been anti against for so long, but when it comes to using, I'm not going to call it slave labor because they're getting paid, but immigrant labor because it's cheaper, and not wanting to invest in the people that you've been campaigning for so long, it doesn't really make sense, which is why Elon Musk is he's kind of a loser to me, right? His principles are not our principles. He is just trying to make himself richer, which is why I said he has to be kind of smart, because he is the world's best venture capitalist. He invested $250 million into a presidential election and got $1 trillion income back and $1 trillion investment back because his candidate won the election. And now it seems like Elon Musk has a little bit of control over the government that he really doesn't need. And this is him explaining himself as to why he thinks H-1B visas are the best. But in reality, I mean, I'm fine with them. I don't mind having immigrants come to this country to work. But if you're gonna bring them over here just for the sake of exploiting them, that's a bit different, right? The reason he's in America is because he came here on a student visa. And I don't like how he's, acting like he built these companies up. These immigrants who work for him probably built these companies up, but he actually, the amount of work he does for these companies, I can't be bothered. If you can't tell, I don't like Elon Musk. I don't think he's a decent person. And afterwards, during this whole Twitter fiasco, people found out that this account down here, Adrian Dittman, is just an Elon Musk cover-up, right? This is just an account where Elon Musk can go on and to be anonymous, right? And I find it funny too, because he got on a Twitter space and was talking, only for them to be like, Elon, is that you with a voice filter on? And I was like, wow. And it is, because he's a fucking loser who no one likes. Oh my, I really just don't like this guy. I'm sorry. And whatever. And, this was a big issue for them until Donald Trump backed Elon Musk because, he bought him essentially. And then now, MAGA got quiet, real quiet after that. And now Elon Musk is pushing for positivity on the platform that he owns. Now, overall, I don't really care about H-1B visas. They're fine. HB1, I don't really give a shit. They're fine, right? I understand the purpose of them. This is a country that was founded on immigration. Easy, right? My whole thing is that Elon Musk is not a decent person at all, right? He spent the last year talking about how immigrants are the worst of the worst. Horrible people that come over here and are trying to take your jobs. But then he simultaneously called Americans stupid for not being able to do the jobs that immigrants are doing. And, I understand this. From his point of view, it makes it easier, right, for him. He doesn't have to pay people. But for you to demonize immigrants and then just to turn on the people that don't like the immigrants that you've been demonizing, what's the point, right? And Elon Musk, once again, he's kind of smart too. Bringing in immigrants to work for him while also demonizing the actual education department, which he spent the last year saying we don't need the education department, just for Americans to ask him, teach us then, and then just for him to go back and say, yeah, no, that'd be a waste of my time. Honestly, it's easier just to bring in someone else. It's the same guy that says college is a scam, but he went to college himself. He dropped out, but he went back. It's the same guy who thinks there's such thing as a woke mind virus. And I just can't be bothered because I just think he's stupid, right? I don't think there's any value in the stuff that he says at all. And if you believe the shit he's saying, when all he's doing is trying to just push what he wants. All he's doing is trying to push this idea that he is like on the regular guy's side. He's on the regular guy's side, but he's not. All he's doing is fighting for his pockets. When Donald Trump won the election, he immediately rose in money, right? A few weeks ago, it was announced that he was the first person to reach $400 billion. He's at 470 billion right now, and it hasn't even been like a month. So I just can't stand him, right? That's just it. I don't care for Elon Musk at all. If this video seems biased, it is. I can't stand him. But that's the video. Peace, love, and happiness. It is peace, love, and happiness to everybody who watched. And I will see you next time. Peace.